Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So today we're checking out the Zerotech Dobby. So basically this is a quadcopter that's supposed to be small enough to fit in the pocket, yet has GPS and smart functions, face recognition, all kinds of stuff. So really excited to review this one and test it out. I will have the links down in the description down there below the video of where you can click on to check the current pricing and more in-depth specs on the website. But basically, let's go ahead and tear into this thing. In this review, we're going to do the full thing in one. It's going to be basically an unbox, inspection, and setup. Then we're going to take this out to the park and go ahead and put it through its functions and do a flight test. So let's get started. So basically, here's the box. It's just got the logo there on the top, and then it's got the Dobby name on the both sides here, and then it's got some QR codes and a little front view of it. You can see how compact it looks from the front. Let's go ahead and take this thing out of the box here and see what it's all about. So it looks like we have our instruction manuals on top. Pulling that off, and there it is. So here is the Zerotech Dobby sitting in here right on top of everything. Let's go ahead and pop this out. So a pretty interesting, compact looking, tiny little device. Looks like the lens protector just fell off, but it does come with like a little lens protector deal for shipping. And let's just go ahead and make sure we got everything out of the box, and then we'll get back to this guy and look at it more in depth. So we just have this second layer here, popping that out. Then we have all the peripherals. This looks like a USB cable. And if you notice anything about this, they're going really with kind of Apple look on this. All the cables are reminiscent of Apple. Of course, the white coloring and the smooth finishes and everything. So there's a USB cable. Looks like this is a USB Type-C plug. And it looks like they also give us an adapter for the older USB type of plug as well, the micro USB here. Digging further into the box, it looks like this is our battery, 970 milliamp. And it is saying on this one it is a 7.6 volt. So I believe this is a little bit higher voltage than a standard 2S battery. Last thing in the box is the charger. So it looks like this is going to charge this battery. We're just going to pop this right on top here. It's got this proprietary connector. The battery's got this little light indicator. You press on that, charge indicator. Full 4 lights is going to be fully charged, and then it's going to degrade down to 1 for not charged. And looks like this adapter they give you in the box for USB Type-C just plugs right into the charger, and then this is going to plug into, you know, a phone charger, any type of USB plug for charging, computer, phone charger, whatever you can use. And so let's take a look at the Dobby. So here it is, the Zerotech Dobby little mini pocket smart drone. We can see here in depth here that basically it's got little brushless motors. Everything's folded up. Looks like it has a sonar sensor and a vision sensor on the bottom for ground sensing. This is the micro USB plug you're going to be plugging in with that adapter here to access your files when you plug it into your computer after you take some video. Looks like we have a fan shroud on the back. I believe this has a fan in it, so it's got onboard cooling. Keep these components cool. This is where we're going to slap in that battery. On the front, it's got an adjustable camera. Now this isn't a auto pitch. You have to manually pitch this camera. And with this one, it's got these little lines on the side here. So when you are moving it, you see how those lines kind of pop out? And that's kind of telling you the degree of tilt you're at. And they're saying that this one actually has electronic image stabilization. So it's going to take that image and it's going to basically stabilize it by software electronically to give you a little bit smoother image in there. So we're going to see how that all works in the flight test coming up here pretty soon. But anyway, let's go ahead and pull this thing apart. Basically, you're just pulling the arms out and you're feeling this kind of satisfying little click there. Do that to all 4 arms. So really easy. Just 1, 2, 3, 4 until you feel the click. Basically, these are just kind of a hinged propeller where each one is locked into the brushless motor here. So it has that breakdown compact ability to just fold up and fold in like this. And then just kind of looking at the top of the body, it looks like we have our power on off switch there. just some labeling on the top. We've got a light here in the back, and this is just painted on, but this is an actual LED light there. This would be our cooling area for our cooling fan to pull air through. And again, that's where we're mounting the battery. So let's go ahead and mount this battery up real quick. So just grabbing the battery, and then we can see that we have this little connector, this little proprietary connector here, and it's going to be pushing in right into that. So real simple, just grab it, push it in, and we're ready to go. So that was pretty much it as far as the craft. Let me just go ahead and open up this instruction manual here. And what we're going to be wanting to do is go to the App Store and downloading the Do Fun app by Dobby. So you can utilize the controlling it from our cell phone and utilizing all these smart features. Okay, so this thing is pretty simple to set up. Once you download the Do Fun app from the App Store, whether you have Android or Apple, you're going to want to turn on the Dobby. And so just charge the battery and then put it in, hold the power button down, and you're going to see the power button kind of blinking, and then you let your finger off. And it's going to take just a few seconds to boot up, and then you're going to hear a chime. So we're just going to wait for that chime there. There we go. So you heard that chime, and now it's basically ready to connect to your wireless. So what you need to do is go into your wireless on your device, and you're going to look for this here. It basically is just a connection called Dobby, and you're going to have some letters and numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and connect to this. I've already connected to this, but initially upon connection, the password is actually ZeroTech, all lowercase, and which it does state in the manual. So basically, once you connect to your wireless and this guy's on, you basically just run the Do Fun app. And let's see how this thing looks. So right away I'm already seeing the FPV. You can see that we've got FPV. And this is a Wi-Fi FPV, so you're going to have a little bit of lag there. You can see how much lag we have. So this is where the app gets kind of interesting. It's a pretty much full-fledged application. You can see on the top it says not located. And what that's telling us is there's no GPS here located in the house. So when you do this, you really want to be kind of open, just like you would treat like a GPS quadcopter. You want to be in an open area with no magnetic interference, no really metal around you very much. And you want to go ahead and start this configuration. So then you go into the menu, and you're going to be greeted with a bunch of these options. And what it says to do in the manual is you want to go ahead and go into the compass calibration and do the compass calibration. So all it's going to be telling you is to rotate it horizontally like this a few times, and then hold it up and rotate it like this, and then you should calibrate the compass. So you want to make sure you do that in an open area, away from any kind of metal objects or interference. Probably at the park or something, like in the middle of the park, just to be safe. You only have to do it once, really, unless you travel across the world or something, or far away. And then you want to go ahead and check for the updates. So update aircraft firmware. This one has the latest version, and OS update. This one also has the latest version. So you want to make sure you do all that stuff before you fly. And then you can, works into all these other kind of modes and options here, where we've got photograph mute. That's just basically a sound it's going to have on your phone for photographing. Forward or reverse flight, basically when you're flying it and controlling with the phone, that's if it's facing you or if it's facing away from you, just kind of the orientation. So you can change that. You can turn off and on novice mode. Basically, novice mode is just a mode where you don't have some of the advanced functions, and you can't change some of the things that you would with novice mode off. Control method, this is where it gets kind of interesting. You have multiple ways to control your craft. This is basically a wireless flyer from your device, so you're going to have an on-screen user interface, kind of like what the Bebop can do, very similar to something like the Bebop or some of the smaller Wi-Fi drones where you have all those options on screen. So you have this option here, which I have enabled right now. I like flying this way, where it's just your basic rocker function, where you have your throttle and your yaw on the left, and then you have your pitch and roll on the right of the screen. There's going to be two little dials on the screen, which I'll show you in just a second. And then we also have the swipe screen control, where you can just drag your finger on the screen and it will go in that direction until you let your finger off. And then you can pinch the screen or do a widening pinch to have the craft actually go further away from you or closer to you, so that's interesting as well. And then you have the motion sensing, which is using the accelerometer on your device to fly it. So you have to like lay your device flat, hold the screen, and then you can go like this, and the craft will actually fly and mimic the movements you make. Then you have your frequency switch. So this is kind of interesting. You can actually fly it as long as your device supports 5G. You can actually use 5G to fly it, which probably won't give you the distance, but it may give you a better clarity streaming experience to your device. Since 5G is a little higher throughput, you'll be able to have a higher resolution on here. 2.4G will actually probably give you a little bit more range. Then you have preview resolution, which is going to be the actual FPV feedback to your device. So you have options of 320, VGA, or 720. It's kind of cool. It has a onboard built-in micro SD card, and it's telling us we have a 9.1 gigabyte available for filming and pictures. And then the quick guide's kind of neat. It basically, you click on that and it's actually accessing a PDF, and this is all in English, so this is great. I was a little bit worried when I opened up the package, how am I going to know how to do everything in these instructions? But it's a full English PDF guide on everything you need to know. So there we go. So we're connected back to the Dobby here, and here's our on-screen controls. So like I was saying, just like any other kind of user interface Wi-Fi quad, you have your your altitude, your yaw, and your pitch and roll here. And then what's cool about this is you have all these extra functions. I'm not sure if their microphone ability is working yet, but you should be able to like hold this and give it some functions. It's basically recording the audio through your phone, and then it should be able to do some voice functions. I'm not sure if that's operating yet. But then we have like time shots, and you can see these little selections pop up on the screen. We have our camera, and this is where we can kind of set the settings on for our camera. We can do continuous shooting, single shot, little short video clips if you want. Here's the parameters. We got auto white balance. We got our EV levels here. And then over here is going to be the electronic image stabilization. So you're going to click on electronic image stabilization, and this is where you have to know what angle your camera's at. So this is where you're going to be using the camera here, and these degrees of measurement are basically telling us how far the camera's tilted. And when you do tilt it down, you're going to feel these little notches. So it does notch into each degree of measurement when you're tilting down, and then you're going to have these little lines on the side of the camera as we saw before. So the first line is going to be like the 22 setting here. Straight up is going to be the 0. So you want to make sure you match the degree of measurement on this electronic image stabilization to which degree your camera's at. So unfortunately, this has no kind of auto tilt. You have to manually tilt your camera on this one. You can actually pull this thing all the way down and point it straight to the ground, and you can see that the image is actually pretty good. There's no blockage in the image. I'm not seeing any blockage of the frame, so you can do a downward shot if you wanted to. Anyways, those are some of the functions there, and then you have your picture button here. This will start snapping picture shots depending on how you set up your pictures here. And then also this will be record and stop your video recording, the little record button. And then this one here is just to look at your photos and videos in the device. Over here on the left, we talked about that voice command, which I don't think is working yet. And then we have our launch here. This will be interesting to try out in the park. So this has a face tracking and also target tracking. So this is getting into Phantom 4 smart tracking features if this all works. So this will be interesting to try this out. Definitely be trying that out in the flight test. And then right here, this is just a hand launch, and you just click on it and you just put it in the palm of your hand like this, and you should be able to just launch it from your hand. And you can also land on your hand. So that's pretty much it as far as the functionality. It's telling us this does have like real-time telemetry, so it's telling us, you know, it's GPS, and it's got smart functions communicating back between the phone and the craft, so we know our battery power. We know that we have GPS lock or not in this middle yellow icon. This should turn green or blue when we've got GPS lock. We know how many meters away from us we are by this guy on the top left. And then we also know our altitude in meters on this one here. So it's got a lot of the features that a smart drone would have. It basically is a smart drone. It's just a little smaller one. So let's go ahead and get this battery charged back up again. And I'm really anxious to test all of these smart functions. I know that most of these will probably work. Really interested to see if those face recognition and tracking functions work, and the following functions. So that'll be really interesting to see if those work in the flight test. Let's go ahead and charge this back up, get out to the park, and do our flight test. Here we are at the park with the Zerotech little selfie drone, and look at this thing. Look at the size of that. So this is the LG G5 phone, and it's actually smaller than the phone. So you can fit this in your pocket. You know, these are just surf shorts, and that goes right in the pocket with the phone. Both of them can fit in a kind of a baggy pocket. So you don't even need a regular controller. You just control this with your phone. And what we're going to do today is basically do a park flight. Just do a test here, put it through all of its paces, and see how it does. It's kind of in the evening now, and a little bit overcast, but the wind is coming from kind of this direction. Got maybe like a 5 to 10 variable, so I'm hoping this does okay in a little bit of wind, but let's just see how this thing does. So first thing we want to do is basically just open up the arms. Really easy. Just pull them out. You're going to hear a little click, and you can kind of feel it. And that's basically it for setup. Then all you do is turn it on. So I'm probably just going to be kind of hovering around at eye level. So I'll just go ahead and leave it at its straight out angle, just its flat zero degree angle. So all we need to do now is set it on the ground. You can actually do this from your hand too, but just for the initial launch, I'm just going to kind of set it down here. Then we just want to hold the power on a few seconds and let go, and just kind of wait for its chime. Okay, so that basically chimed up, you know, maybe about 10 seconds it took to chime up, and that means that it's basically broadcasting the Wi-Fi. So now we can basically start our phone up. So we're going to go into actually our wireless, and the Dobby is actually already pre-connected because I've connected before on the bench in my previous part of the review. And so all you really need to do is go into the Dobby and the DoFun app. So I'm just going into the DoFun app. Hopefully you guys can see this. But anyway, it says aircraft connected there on the bottom. I've got GPS locked on the screen up here. It's got 10 satellites right now, 100% battery, and we are ready to go. The cool thing about this is when you hold this launch arrow up, watch what happens when you hold it down. So 3, 2, 1, go, and let off. And you see how it just launches. And so you can see it's launching to about eye level. So it's right about eye level here. We've got 13 satellites. And you can see that I didn't even pull out their propellers. It just automatically brought the propellers out and everything. I want to go ahead and start recording my app so you guys can see the phone here. So I'm going to hit record, and I'm going to go back into the DoFun app. So I'm hoping that's recording on the screen there so you guys can see this. Anyways, it's been hovering here the whole time. I went out of that app and went back in. And so this guy is recording, so you should be able to see what's on the screen. I'll have it pop up in a different window. So here we go. So here it is. Let's just do a little walk around on this guy and just kind of see what's going on. You can see it kind of fighting a little bit of breeze. It is kind of loud for how small it is. You can hear that. It's got some kind of resonating vibration in the shell a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and start the recording. We're gonna start recording, and this is gonna be with non-electronic stabilization first. So this is just in its raw form, and then we'll stop that and we'll do electronic stabilization. But here we go. So here's our on-screen controls, and we can do a yaw. Here's maximum yaw. Here's our maximum lift all the way up, maximum drop. So very reminiscent to, like, say, a Parrot Bebop type of on-screen control. Here's our pitch, full pitch forward, full pitch back, letting off. So you can see how it's just like a GPS quadcopter would act. Get it up about high level there. And let's go do a little bit of some rolling and stuff. So let's see. So roll, full roll to the left, full roll to the right, letting off right now. And you can see how it has a really good ability to just lock its position. It's using that GPS lock to just lock its position in solid. So I'm going to go ahead and you can see how the video is a little choppy. I'm seeing that not really choppy, but unstable is what I should say. And you can see it in the different lighting environments. Seems to be a little brighter against the hill here. Well, let's go ahead and stop this video, and then I'm going to go into the pictures here and the settings and turn on the EIS, and I want to turn it on for 0 camera angle. So look at that. So immediately now it's electronically stabilizing the image, and you can see when I turn, you see how it has that black bar there. So this would be for like really slow image stabilization. When you turn like this, you're gonna have an issue. So let's see some of the advanced functions. So you can see the flying functions there. Let's go ahead and just take a photo. Okay, I'm not sure if you can take a photo while it's recording. Did I even start the recording? Okay, now we're recording. So I wanted to make sure we started recording, so you can see what's going on in the app. We're at 70% power, so I better hurry up and start doing these functions. Anyway, okay, so we've got all the different kinds of things. Here's the land in your hand. So on the top left of the screen, I'm going to press it once. I'm going to put my hand underneath it, and you can see how it senses your hands under there, and then you can just land. I'm going to take off from the hand. I'm just pressing the hand again, and then I'm confirming. It's going to start off, lift off, and just hover there. So pretty cool, pretty neat advanced functions here. We can also do a landing. Now I'm not sure, let's see what the landing does. If I go out here, I'm not sure if it's a return to home or what. I'm just going to go out here a ways, maybe across the park here. About there. I want to see what happens when I hit home on here. So this is down arrow with an H on it. So it's just going to land right there. So there's no real return to home. Perhaps it'll have like a return to home if you possibly lose a connection or something, or it may just hover there. This is more for like a close proximity type of quad. So I'm full pitch forward coming at us. There we go. And you should be able to see the video quality there. You can see that when the electronic stabilization is on, you're going to get those black bars. So let's do some of the recognition functions. Maybe some follow me. So I'm going to click on this little box icon on the left of the screen, and I want to do target tracking. Please make sure your drone altitude reach 5 meters. So I gotta go up 5 meters, I guess. That's going to be kind of hard, so I'm going to have to change the camera. So let me go ahead and change this camera. Let me land in my hand. And I'm just going to change the pitch on the camera real quick to face down, I think like 20 degrees. There we go. 25 degrees. And then let's go ahead and just launch again. Let me go ahead and stop the recording, and I want to make sure that I change the EIS to that 22.5%, and then I'm going to start recording again, and then I'm going to lift off from my hand, confirm. So there we go. So we lift it off. Let's gain some altitude so we can kind of get us in view here. See how this image tracking works. Okay, hopefully that's high enough. Let's go ahead and press these squares again. Target track. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's working. Let's go a little further out here and go up. It says 5 meters. So that should be high enough for sure right there. Target tracking. Please use this function open area. Confirm. Please set the camera lens 45 degree. Okay. Oh, okay. You have to set it at 45 degrees. So let's land again. Okay, so it's asking me start tracking or start EIS. I want to go back. I want to exit. Oops, I just exited the whole app. So it's just hovering there now after I exited the whole app. So at least you know what happens when you exit the app and it loses connection. So we're gonna drive it home now. Come on down. I'm full pitch down. Low voltage already. Wow, so that was pretty quick flight. Not very long there. So I'm gonna have to charge this battery up again because we're already at we are already at 15% on the battery. So that's too bad. So the battery is a little bit short on this one. So apparently, let's go ahead and land in our hand. So apparently you have to adjust this camera at a 45 degree angle to be able to do that tracking. So I believe that would be the 45 degree angle here. It's already at 4% on the battery. Hopefully you guys can see that on the screen. But so I'm gonna have to go recharge this thing. I've got a charger in my car. We'll go ahead and recharge this. That seemed like a really short flight to be able to do all these functions. So let's go ahead and get a recharge and try again. Alright, so got a freshly charged battery in the Dobby, and gonna go ahead and see if we can get this kind of follow me function to work. We'll try to power it on with just holding it in our hand and see if that's possible. Like say you're hiking or something and you don't have a flat surface. Let's just see how this works, where you have to kind of hold it in your hand. So we heard those tones for it to boot up. Recording the screen, you can see that we can kind of see the ground because the camera is pointed at 45 degree, but this is what we need to do for our follow me function. So I'm going to hit the hand launch takeoff, confirm. It's going to go ahead and spin up and launch right there. So we are having you know, maybe about 10 mile per hour winds, 5 to 10 coming from this direction. So there we go. So we immediately want to go ahead and try to get into our position where it's kind of centering us in view. I think it said we need to be about 5 meters high. So let's go ahead and get up here a ways. So there we go. So we're locked in there. That's us. And hopefully that's high enough. So what we want to do now is we want to go into Make sure we're at our setting. Our EIS is at 45 degrees. Okay, so that should be kind of stabilizing the video. I want to start the recording. And now I want to go into some of the advanced functions here on the left. We want to do target tracking. Confirm, use an open area. Camera is 45 degrees. Start tracking. Please frame the screen. Okay, does that mean, okay, I'm drawing a little, you saw that little red box? I'm kind of drawing around myself, kind of like what the Phantom 4 is supposed to do. Wow, okay, so it's tracking me. See that little red reticle, or the green reticle there? So it knows what the heck I am. So let's go ahead and turn and start walking, and let's see if it keeps us in frame. So I'm just gonna kind of walk out here, and it looks like it's doing a pretty good job. It's fighting the wind now, but it's following me. Wow, that's cool. So this is just pure image recognition. This isn't using any kind of supposedly GPS on my phone. Who knows, maybe it is, but it seems to me like it's just using image tracking, object tracking. So now I'll move in to the left here, and the drone is actually yawing to follow me, and it looks like it lost track of me. So you can see there it's still pointing in that direction. So it looks like it will kind of lose track. Let me bring it down a little bit, and let me get back in its view here. Now let's try that again. So let's go right in the center here, and let's start that image tracking again. Let me show you guys something cool real quick. There is this flip function. So did you see that? Let me do that while I'm looking at the drone. So you see this flip button. You can turn off and on this in the settings. But let's just go ahead and do a flip. I guess we can't do it anymore. It says low power, cannot use flip. So that's kind of a con there. I still have 82% power, it says on the top right of the screen, but it's not letting me flip. It's saying low power, so I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, let's try that tracking again. So target tracking, boom, open area, yes I am. Let me get a little bit more in the view here. We'll go like a top-down view right in the center. And let's go ahead and start tracking, frame ourselves, start. Okay, so it's got us locked in. Let's see if it can keep up. Now, this thing kind of had a little bit of a problem the first time. It kind of lost me, so not sure how that's going to work, but let's just kind of walk around here and see if it can keep tracking. The sun is kind of low in the horizon over there. It's late afternoon, so maybe that might mess with the camera a little bit. So we'll try not to point it too much in the sun. But it's basically turning, it's yawing, and it's trying to keep up and follow. You can see it up there. It is kind of coming towards me. So this time it's tracking pretty good. Let's try to go face it into the sun. Whoa. Okay, so we lost tracking. So it looks like it will lose track. So that's a little unfortunate. It doesn't look like you can really count on that. This thing also does face tracking, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I have this hat on and all this stuff. So let's try to do another image track one more time. Target tracking, actually. Oh, see, so I'm too low now, so I can't even do a target tracking from here. Let's go ahead and lower it and see if we can do a face tracking. So I think you can kind of see my face here, and the drone can kind of see my face. Let's just see if this will actually work. Face track, okay, coming soon. So this part of the app is not even available yet, so we need to they need to update that, I guess. So I can't do anything else basically on the tracking. That was basically it. But that was kind of neat. Let's see how high it'll go. So I'm gonna go straight up. A little unfortunate that you can't change the camera pitch here. I have no control of the camera pitch, and unless I land it and you know, get it back down and turn the camera forward. So this is going to be a 45-degree angle on the camera, but I just want to see how high we can go. I'm at 36 meters. Let's kind of angle it out here. Would have been nice to get the ocean, but I don't think I'm going to have enough power for this. 48 meters, and it's locking. Yep, 48 meters high. That's as far as you can go. Let's see how far out it will get. Let me just go over the other park just in case I do lose it. It's not going to be impossible to find. So let's see just how far it'll go. I'm just full pitch forward here. And 43 meters, it looks like it's maxing out at. It's not going any further than that. 45 meters, 46. Well, it's still going. 50. Battery's getting low. The battery's at 18%. So I'm going into the other park. We're at 70 meters away from our position. I should probably start coming back now. We're at 14% there. Okay, so connection interrupted. 100 meters. I'm going to try to book it back now. I reconnected. I'm going to pull full pitch back. I really want to get back before it lands, so I'm full pitch back. I really have no idea where it is, but I can hear it. I should start coming down too. We're at only 8%. So there it is. It's coming on back. And I have visual sight of it now, and I'm just kind of steering it down here. Get it kind of right over us. I have full throttle down, and I had full pitch back. So we just have full throttle down now, and we're dropping. And it looks like our battery power is at 8% still. I'm trying to bring it down as fast as possible. Okay, so I just had a vibration on the screen, and I think it's trying to kind of warn me, get the heck home. Let's bring it on down. Okay, let's try a hand landing here. So go ahead and press hand land, and putting my hand out here. All right, cool. So it quickly just kind of noticed. Let's stop the recording. Well, the recording actually already stopped, so I guess the recording maybe stops. Hopefully that was recording. But it looks like it stops, you know, when we land. It looks like it stops the recording, kind of like other quads do. Like I know the Bebop does that. Anyways, cool guys, so that was a pretty thorough flight test. We got to do one flip, but then it was having that weird thing where it said not able to do flips on low power, and I still had like 80 or 72%. So not sure what's up with that. So it looks like there may be a few things that Zerotech can work on with this one, but the potential is there, definitely. It's just that some of the functions didn't work. I did try this other function you can see on the bottom left of the screen here. It's a microphone, and you're supposed to be able to tell it to do voice commands, but that didn't work when I tried it in the house. So it's got a bunch of cool features, some which are not enabled yet. So let's go through like a little pros and cons on this. I will have kind of had the video up on the screen from the actual Dobby, and also recorded from my phone here, so you could basically see, you know, what was going on, what the resolution was like. I think I did have the raw video and also the EIS stabilized video up, so you'll have seen how that is with both types of video. Cool factor, it has, you know, vision sensor on the bottom and also sonic sensor on the bottom. Really the only con I can see is in this one is that the limitation of the camera is you have to manually kind of pitch it the angle you want. And also this one seemed to be vibrating a lot. You probably heard it. It was pretty loud for how small it is. And that could be because of imbalanced propellers. I'm not really too sure, but I don't even know how you would really balance these because they're these swing kind of propellers, right? So you can't really balance them on a normal prop balancer. So that may be an issue with vibration, and the video may have been actually suffering from that same kind of vibration. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off just because I don't want to eat the battery too much. So I'm just holding in the power button, watching that blue light till it goes off. You know, aside from a few shortcomings, I think that this is, it's kind of like the, not quite the same, but you know how the Xiaomi Mi drone had issues. I think that the Xiaomi actually was more made for just a Chinese product and wasn't really meant for the US, but this looks like it's meant to be worldwide. So this one, you know, a couple of shortcomings, a couple of things didn't work. Overall, I think pretty good. The potential is there. There's a few functions, a few more functions it had that I wasn't able to have the time to go through, but you could see those in the app when I kind of went over it on the bench. This one doesn't seem like you'll be able to connect wirelessly and transfer the data out of here. It's a solid state internal storage where you have to plug it in to this micro USB port and connect it to your computer and then transfer out the files. So the cool factor was the tracking did fairly work okay. I mean, it looks like there's going to be some potential for improvement there, but most of the things did work pretty good. It was pretty easy to control here. There was that height limitation we had. I'll have commented on those numbers on the screen, and you'll have had seen the UI on those up on the screen as well. The interface recorded so you could see what those numbers were and all that stuff. Anyway guys, I think the potential is good here. So a couple things they can work on. And don't forget, I will have the links to this Xerotech Dobby down in the description of the video so you can kind of check out the current pricing. You can kind of see all the specs it's got. But a pretty neat device for how small and compact it is. Let's just go ahead and shut it down real quick and you can see how simple it is to just shut down. You know, all you need to do is make sure that the propellers are angled that way a little bit out towards the front and back, and there you go. So, you know, done. Store this thing in your pocket. These are like surf shorts, and look at that, it's going in there. It goes in even with my phone. So really, if you have a decent sized pocket, you can store everything in your shorts, pants, whatever you want. So cool factor is it's very compact. Anyway guys, I do a lot of reviews like this, so go ahead and check out my channel. I think you'll like it, and I hope you enjoyed the review. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video.